There's that stupid
It
fucking light again.
happens.
I can't stand that light.
Okay.
Every single solitary time.
Okay, so
Hi.
I guess Gianna wants to discuss last week's episode very quickly.
Very quickly, last week was not a good week whatsoever, so we understand what happened in last week's episode. How Rollins is basically torturing Allie, which kept up in this episode. And yeah. That's about it. What else happened? This is a good show. I like Dead of Summer.
You
we
know
have
what?
to do recaps.
We're going to
it.
do recaps. The only problem is like we're gonna have to do recaps on a different day.
We're gonna have to because we can't sit here and watch this till 10 and do recaps. I mean, next week we could because I'm off all week, but I have work tomorrow.
Well, the thing is though, if Jeremy, it's not even that. If Jeremy didn't have the baby,
like,
and didn't have work in the morning, I would be able to stay here. But he has the baby. He watches the baby for me. Well, my parents watch the baby on Tuesday, and then Jeremy gets him. So just bear with us. We'll come out with recaps for it, we promise. So, anyway, this week's episode. Okay, so how did we start out? I remember the episode.
Allie getting put in the thing.
Allie.
In the mouth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we started out with basically Rollins turning Allie being turned into Hannibal Lecter by Rollins. Like, they're wrestling the shit out of one another. He, like, injects her in the arm.
Why he is even her doctor to begin with?
It doesn't make any sense because it's like if a judge has somebody in court that's a family member, they can't try that person. In the same respect, if someone has a patient that is a relative, you're going to have to take this one, bub, because
like you can't,
it's my wife and or it's my fucking sister.
Because
it's my
you
cousin
put your
on my mother's
into
side,
it, and
3 times removed.
You're not supposed to. Like I think it's actually like against the law, correct?
They're not. Yeah, I mean, in basic, yes. It is against the law. It is a conflict of interest.
I know that this is like another TV show, but let's be real here. In Grey's Anatomy, didn't somebody not be able to work on somebody because it was their family or their husband or their wife or something like that? Like, no, you can't be in the operating room now. Like, you can't. You've got to go because it's a conflict of interest. Like, regardless, I know she's not being operated on, but he should not be her doctor. And that's just how it is.
Sitting there, and I get to use this word, sitting there and speaking to her in a pontificating manner. Because that's what I wanted to talk about. The fact that suddenly he was frightening with a British accent. Oh, yes, Allison, I'm going to take care of you. Oh, yes, I'm bloody. Like, all of a sudden, he became frightening. But
the fact of the matter is like, nobody, like, does anybody work at this hospital that no one sees him, like, manhandling her like that?
And that other doctor is like, I wasn't aware that Rollins was taking care of her. At that point, he should have said, that's not something he should be doing, considering that they're married.
Like it doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely zero. Zippity-doo-dah sense. It doesn't make any sense.
As far as the relationships, last week's episode shows that Hannah wants to recreate lost feelings between her and Jordan. And
she bought her ring.
They go to New York.
I think it's the video a little.
Who
cares about the light?
Light off, please.
Turn the back light off.
Okay, now I'm in the video. They go to New York. They go to New York, and they're standing there in front of that place that they met, and she's like, blah, 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 like, they can't do this. This was supposed to be where we met, and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Takes the ring off and hands it to him.
Yeah.
Suddenly, she's putting a ring on.
Well, somebody tweeted us and said that there was a $39 tag on it or something like that. Like she just bought a fake ring.
Bought a fake ring. Exactly. So
poor Hannah can't catch a fucking break.
She wants to keep her friends thinking that she's still engaged to Jordan, meanwhile harboring feelings for Caleb that are reciprocated because obviously even Spencer sees it. But that's all I'm going to say about the ships, other than the fact that, fuck you, Yvonne. Get the fuck off the show. Get the fuck off the show. We're fucking sick and tired of seeing your fucking face.
Like, she came out of that trailer.
Fuck you.
She came out of that mobile home with, like, silk on. Like, why are they staying in a mobile home? Like, I get that. Why not a fucking hotel or something?
I don't understand.
It doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, because I know that they're building the house. Okay, get it. But you're building a house. You really have to stay on the grounds of the house? Like, can't you just stay somewhere else for now? Like, what the fuck? But anyway. So then we have Miss Arya fucking sneaking all in fucking Elliot's house, being a dum-dum, taking
Standing
one
there,
thing.
taking one thing out at a time.
Like, I'm
staring
surprised
at
she
it and
didn't take,
taking
like,
pictures.
the bottle. I'm surprised she didn't take a picture of each letter at a time to spell it out. Like, it was just unnecessary.
Honestly.
Like, they were
Honestly.
laid out perfectly inside of the thing. She could have just snapped one fucking picture and zoomed in. But no. Let's make things harder. Let's fucking make them as hard as they
Let's
possibly
get
can.
the time just going and going and going so that Elliot could just
Build
about
up
catch
the
you in the act.
suspense.
Take the key out of the one fucking lantern, put it back in the wrong one. Like,
you didn't see that coming? Come on.
and furthermore, Rollins.
And he saw her.
Yeah, you saw her in there. Like, did you not
He
deduce
saw Arya
that she-
running out of the fucking fenced-in area, and then was all surprised that she fucking went through his shit. Like,
yeah, like the key was in the wrong lantern. Gasp! Holy shit! Like, okay.
it makes no sense. But anyway, so yes, Arya is being dumb. What else is new?
Emily wants to start a relationship and start sharing cappuccinos and sucking you-know-whats with that chick at the fucking...
Sucking you know what?
Well, I...
My God.
Okay, there's, Toby and Michael. Or Michael and Toby.
But
Tootie.
anyway,
Anyway, yeah, so she wants to hook up with her. Then we have Hannah and Arya decide that they want to venture to Amish country because Elliot said that he has a family farm and fucking him
she
and
thought that she
Allison-
was just gonna skip down the road and ring doorbells and be like,
Yes.
"Excuse me, have you ever heard of this family?" Like,
yes, and that little
the
girl is like,
fuck?
that little girl Eliza, which I get where you're going with this as far as the books. However, that little girl is like, I can't speak to English people. Arya walks in,
Hi.
strikes up a conversation. You guys look like my dolls.
Which was another dumb fucking thing. I am so sorry, but I could look at a Barbie all I want, or a doll, and I would never look at somebody and be like, "You look like my dolls." Those dolls could look, come on. They're just normal fucking dolls. How do you figure? I'm sorry, I didn't know that it had fucking the features of
I know.
Allison.
Unless
No, it's
that
like
they
got a
took,
doll's
unless they
features.
took printed out pictures of Arya's and Hannah's faces and slapped them on those dolls, they look like
They look
anybody
like
else.
dolls. That's what they
Yes.
look like. They look like fucking dolls.
It's just freaking
This show is
stupid.
so far-fetched.
Don't
it's
think
ridiculous.
also that we didn't see the fucking thing hanging on the barn that was on the Campbell farm as well, because we noticed.
Whether
What
it's
that
the
has to-
same one or not, nobody
or not.
knows.
Whatever that thing signifies, I'm not Amish, I don't own a farm. Somebody comment and let me know what the fuck that thing is that's hanging on the barn signifies, because I have no idea.
I'm sure that they would have recognized if it was the same barn, correct?
Maybe we should just venture down to Lancaster and ask. But,
Okay, but anyway.
but anywho, then Emily drops in on Toby's engagement party and leaves a fucking bunch of clues about Rollins, and it turns out that Rollins is from Scranton, Pennsylvania. His name is
well,
not Rollins.
the real Rollins.
The
is
real
from Scranton,
Rollins.
Pennsylvania.
No,
Well-
actually, he just had a traffic violation.
Okay, well, whatever. If he had a traffic violation, he was in Scranton, Pennsylvania with his British accent.
But he
no
was
one noticed.
54 or something
Yeah.
like that. He was in his 50s or 60s, he said.
So, theoretically speaking, he stole that name, and his last name is actually Kingston, but,
Or Kim.
that is just a theory. That is just a theory.
Just because he faked a British accent. We're
I
like,
don't-
he's related to Ren!
I don't give a
All
flying
roads
fuck.
lead back to Ren. All
I
Lancaster roads
truly
lead
think
back
they
to Ren.
do.
But anyway.
I don't give a flying fuck if any of you out there want to pontificate to me and argue with me on this one. Go ahead. Anyway.
We're going to start coming out with words of the day with Gianna.
Pontificate.
But anyway, so I'm sorry, but what's really pissing me off, okay, is okay. So what we have we have like what, a couple more episodes this season, like what, like 5, 6, like
7?
of this half of the season. Okay,
Well, it has
6 or
10
7.
episodes, right? This was
So
the
6 or
second.
7.
So,
Okay,
yeah,
6
7,
or
8
7.
episodes.
And
yeah.
then we have 10 in the next half.
Correct. So far. I don't know if they're having a Halloween or Christmas
Is
episode.
anybody confused with how in the next 16 to 17 episodes.
How we're going to get all the answers?
Not even how we're going to get all the answers. I've given up on that a long time ago.
I'm not talking about all the answers. I'm talking about the answers that have culminated since this fucking
I'm talking about the fact of how we're going to have Toby break off his engagement, go back to Spencer, live happily ever after. Hannah go back to Caleb, live happily ever after, and Caleb and Spencer never feel awkward about what happened in the past. Or even Hannah, for that matter, because Hannah's involved in this too. Like, if you... Okay, he's not your cousin. He's not... Okay, me. You break up with Mike. I clearly know you love Mike. You're not going to stop loving him fucking tomorrow. If I fucking started dating Mike, and then me and Mike fucking jump off in the sunset together, here we are in Madrid. Yahoo! Having fun, having cocktails. Yes, I love you, Michael. I love you. But you won't say it back to me. I really like you, Megan. I really like you, Megan.
You're kind of sexy.
Okay? And then you and Mike hook up behind my back. I tell Michael, I just can't do this anymore, Michael. And then all of a sudden, you two get back together. Aren't you going to feel weird about me? Aren't I going to feel weird about you?
Don't you think that should be something that should not be done in the first place? Like,
exactly.
It's
it shouldn't have been done in the first place.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just stupidity.
It is. It's fucking retardo. I don't get it. I think it's dumb. I think it's just uncalled for. But, of course, Marlene King, she had to come up with some kind of clever way to get people pissed off because everybody is just not pissed off enough, right?
Well, let's not forget that Charlotte was walking around down in fucking Amish country with fucking bonnets on her heads and bells on her toes, walking around handing out fucking dolls to people. What the fuck? Yeah, and kissing Elliot and sucking face with him and who knows what else. But, okay, so now you're going to explain why Chuck was released from Radley, became Amish, somehow infiltrated back into the fucking girls. Like, what next?
Hannah's in possession of a poker that prodded Hannah.
Yeah, the poker that prodded Hannah.
None of it makes any sense. Like, when was she in Amish country? Because I'm going to assume that it was some point in the last...
When she was living with Allie.
When she was living with Allie, because... When you think about it,
that's 5 years.
That little girl would have been way too young to remember.
Yeah, that little girl is not going to remember because she had to be what, fucking 11, 12 years old?
So it had to be within the past 4 years, okay? But now here's the thing.
Okay, maybe she would remember if she was like 11 or 12, but let's just say she was 9.
But even so, I don't
for argument's sake.
Shit that happened when I was 9. But anyway, none of it makes any sense because you have this little girl that got this doll. And she, like, says to them, oh, Allison's my favorite because she looks like Charlotte. Wait, time out. What do you mean? Like, Allison's your favorite because she looks like Charlotte? Again, going back to how the fuck the dolls look like fucking people. Because they don't. I don't care what anybody says.
They're
they don't
dolls.
fucking look like people.
They're dolls.
But how the fuck... If it was 4 years ago or whatever, it could have been fucking 3 months ago for all the fuck I know. But if it was 4 years ago, how the fuck would that little girl remember fucking Cece?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Unless she fucking spent like fucking summers there.
Yeah.
You don't remember like a fucking encounter with somebody like for like a fucking few seconds. Like, oh, she kissed Elliot, but I wasn't supposed to say anything. How does she remember the names of these people if she only had like one kind of encounter with them?
Because obviously they are closer to her than was let on in this episode.
And why would Charlotte give her fucking prized possession dolls to a fucking girl in Amish country that she doesn't even know who the fuck she is?
Because that girl in Amish country is somehow related.
And why?
To who?
To Charlotte.
And where was Allie?
I'm not saying she's a sister.
What do you mean?
And where was Allie this whole time?
Getting beaten the shit out of by Rollins.
Hold on, because we have to...
Oh, you